It's Joe the Box and my team here at the America First Warehouse on the America First podcast, the most patriotic venue in all the land. You know how it is. To my right is my great friend Lisa Azzarelli. She just came in on that motorcycle behind her, and she loves motorcycles, especially she loves the fin on an automobile. If you watched last week, that was a lot of fun. Lisa, how you doing? Where you been? What's up with my friend Anthony?
I'm feeling good, Joe. I'm very happy to be here today on this beautiful Tuesday, and we hope to give you a lot more of the Joe excitement on a whole bunch of topics. That's why the motorcycle's behind me, Joe, because we rev it up.
We are so ready to rock and roll. To the left of me is the great funny man, Fred Rubino, who just had 3 hours in traffic coming from New Jersey. Can you tell me all about that, Freddie?
I was young when I left, and now I have hard candy in my pocket. That's how old I am from
Freddie,
that commute.
We are so honored to have you. We know we have you in store and on the show for a couple of weeks. And you're also airing your new show out of here, which I was honored to be part of the opening show. And you'll be doing that again today, right?
Yes, 12:30 to 1:30. We're going to have some guests on. This week we got Stevie GB. And next week we'll have Rob Finaro from The Sopranos, and so on and so forth. And I have some shows coming up in the South where that's called a motorcycle. That's not a motorcycle. That's a motorcycle.
Yeah, man, that's a hog. That's what it is to me. And next to Freddie is my boy, my brother, Johnny Blanket's got me covered. Got a little something on the top of his head. You know, he's supposed to wear a hat. Be careful of the sun, right, Johnny? What have you been doing?
Yeah, I'm going to be a hermit and stay inside for now. And from here on in, I'm going to stay here at the most patriotic venue in all of the land, the America First Warehouse. Just an honor to be here, and it's an honor to be an American today.
Johnny,
I thought it was a yarmulke. I thought the landlord was here.
Well, I didn't want to see God to see the top of my head. I guess that's where they wear those.
That and
Listen,
baldness.
let's not get technical over here. On the far left, we got Steph Legit. Also spent a good morning driving from the Bronx, which I understand is AOC territory. What a great representative she has been in the Bronx. You had some traffic issues too, huh, Legit?
Yeah, just a little bit on the Cross Island, but nothing too bad. Thank God everyone was okay from the accident. Nothing more to worry about. And the Bronx is not AOC territory. She does not come to visit. The Bronx is MAGA, and we're going to prove it.
You know, that's a credible thing, because I want to just mention in 2020, when we were really in the fight for Trump to win, we had spent a lot of time in the Bronx because Tina Forte was the one that was running for that seat against her. And Tina was able to gather some crowds, but, you know, we really didn't know why the excitement, I don't know why it really didn't surround her. She was certainly MAGA. But what we did go to was one or two of AOC's rallies, and it was in a high school gym or an auditorium, and we went in there. We pretended to be one of them and just to sit, and she got heckled, but there was only like 10 people in there. So where is this overwhelming support for this woman who might even be president? Can you explain that, Legit?
It's pretty pathetic, though, because she does have the highest crime rate in her district ever.
Yes.
Besides losing that Amazon account. How does she get in? It's one of those things that make you go,
Well, that's a whole other can of worms with election integrity. I don't think that's on our agenda for today.
Yeah, no, there's so much to cover. But, we try and plan. We say, the week before, let's talk about the show and, what's important to everybody. And, the first segment, second, third, and so forth. And so on and so forth, right? That's twice I heard that one today. That better be the end of that. But the point is that you can practice and work all weekend, and then you know what happens this morning? Trump shows up at Congress. Trump shows up at Congress to push the big, beautiful bill and to put people on notice. What president has ever done that? Was it the president that hid in the basement? Did he ever go to Congress? Was it the president that's been lying to us about his cancer diagnosis? Was it the president that didn't even know what room he was in or what person he was talking to? And we let the auto pen decide for us the fate of the country? If you don't see what's happening right now, then you really are blind, or what do you say about that, Lisa?
Okay, so the fact that the tapes were released, and Special Inspector Herr interviewed Biden, and what we found was that his answers were really representative of someone struggling with his thinking, and this is frightening. They tried to cover it up. They didn't allow Biden to be sworn in for the interview, apparently with reason, and then they had his handler, so to speak, nudging him on with certain answers. He could not even recall his own son's passing, the year of his passing. When you listen to it, you actually feel very, very bad for him, and the fact that it's elder abuse is what we were dealing with. But a larger scale, it was a deceit to the entire country. And the auto pen now issue has come up as far as you don't need a pen to sign it. You can verbally agree to things, but if you do not have the mental capacity to even do that, then we do have a large issue with what was passed under his administration. And then moving forward, we now find out, now the tapes come out, and what we hear that, oh, he has prostate cancer on top of this, which supposedly went unnoticed and then not disclosed during his last physical. So there is a lot of controversy and consequence about what is taking place behind the scenes.
Well, here's a good idea, and maybe I can, put my three friends over here on the left of me. Give me one good thing that really came out of the Biden administration, Freddie.
Nothing. Nothing has ever come good out of that administration. That's the saddest part. And but whenever you say handler, you know that you are really lacking in everything. Like when you get really drunk at a club and your friend is like your handler, that's when you know you're out of it. So he needed a handler his whole time. And let's face it, they knew he had cancer when he ran for president. They knew he had cancer for a long time, so the plan was always fix the election, get back in, and then hand it off to someone, which is the worst thing you could do to our whole election process, is put somebody up there knowing he cannot fill the job. And everybody was in on it.
Jody Blanket, did you find anything?
There is something I found that was good about Joe Biden, and I'm going to say that I think he opened up everybody's eyes, or people that didn't believe, to see how corrupt the whole government and system was. And what he did was, we had a 4-year of nightmare, and he opened it up for Trump to get back in there, and then like I said, for a lot of people to open their eyes and see how bad it was and how good Donald Trump is for us. So whatever Donald Trump decisions he makes, I'm backing him 100%. So I'm all in. America first.
Steph, anything good that you saw out of the 4 years of hell?
The realization for anyone middle of the road who had TDS could say, you know what, we try the progressive policy, whether it's the clean energy, open borders, let's teach children things they shouldn't know in grammar school, any of those issues, which we still face here in New York. It just expedites for us that we don't want that's not the core value of our country, and that most people are center and just center right when it comes to fiscal responsibilities.
But let's not forget Hunter revolutionized the finger painting industry. I mean, finger painting went from 5 cents to $1 million. Have you finger painted lately?
I thought
you better get on
I thought
it.
he used the straw wisely for two different things: for blowing out of it and blowing into it.
Unbelievable. I got to tell you, we got 3 minutes left of this segment, and I just want to point out a few of the great things that happened this week. And one of the things that I just want to bring to the table quickly is to watch Trump, how he was greeted in the Saudi Arabian and all of those Middle Eastern countries. In particular, I really love how they refer to him as the king of the world. I think that's what it was. Did anybody hear that one? Or
President of the world.
give me something good this week, Lisa.
Amazing with the Saudi Arabian dealing, $600 billion deal going on. We know Boeing there, Saudi Arabia has contracted them to make numerous aircrafts, upwards of near 40 aircrafts for them. They have also agreed to allow a lot of their infrastructure, their airports, their parks, to be built by companies here in America, which is wonderful. They are investing in AI as well, approximately, I believe, $2 billion or so in AI. So we have, or $20 billion, they have an amazing contract going on, and that builds a relationship, an economic trust that we need across our nations. And so to have that with such a powerful country is a beautiful testament.
And them to send all that money our way so that we can open up new factories, create jobs for all Americans. It's an amazing trip, an amazing accomplishment from an amazing president.
And the relationship that's been sown, just to see how the Middle East and how everyone was greeting President Trump and making him feel like he was so welcome, because it's his idea of your country can be great too. America, yes, America great. America first for us, your country first for you, and how can we work together? But the admiration that you could see in the leaders' eyes and even in the communities, it was really, that's a sign America truly is.
Yeah, the
And
prince
history.
went out to meet him personally.
That's right.
You know, and
That's
remember
right.
Biden getting up there, hey, how you doing, in the fist
The,
busting.
the bar is really
And he
low.
wasn't even
though.
there for him.
I mean, Biden goes there, Biden goes somewhere, and he craps his pants. You know, if you just
Now
don't
we know
crap your
why.
pants,
He was sick. It's not his
you're
fault.
doing very good. But I love that Trump looked at the beautiful architecture and the marble. He's a builder. He actually contributed to this country for years before all the other. I can't think of any other politicians that rose to that level that aren't just grifters.
Well, he's also setting a whole new standard. So anyone running in 2028, you better be able to get on the ladder and climb as high as Donald Trump has made the standard now.
How cute was he when he says to him, and he made the prince laugh. He says to him, "Your camels, they're beautiful camels."
The prince got nervous. He was like, "Hey, I'm married to that camel. What are you doing?"
Well, I got to tell you, we're going to close it out here, the first segment. We're on our way out. We love America. We thank you very much for joining us. Check out some of these new sponsors that we have at the warehouse.
I told you this was crazy. I'm out of here. No, that. Free stuff for all. I have to be such a downer.
For you, bow to the master staff. Come to me. Oh my God, this guy's from Jersey.
Hi, how you doing? Fuck up my stage.
I'm pretty sure I'm a woman.
No, you're not, Steve. Oh! Oh!
A little wet on my side. Now instead of a poke, you're getting a smack. What have I done?
Are you a musician, comedian, actor, filmmaker, or artist who stands for traditional American values? Do you believe in the preservation of our nation, our culture, and our freedoms? If you share our passion for America and want to use your talents to make a difference, we want to hear from you. Our mission is clear. Through the arts, we uphold the principles of freedom, faith, family, and the American spirit. It's time to step up to the mic and make your voices heard. So contact us at AmericanConservativeArtists.com.
The dehumanizing rhetoric of Adolf Hitler, Donald Trump's language mirrors this directly.
Well, Hitler was duly elected.
Let's deal with Hitler, okay?
I don't think it's hyperbolic to say that is Mussolini Hitler-like language.
You say Nazi enough times, someone's going to actually have the guts to do it.
Donald Trump would invoke Adolf Hitler.
What percentage of this event happening was due to Donald Trump's rhetoric?
Don't miss Trump next time.
What do you make of the excess deaths?
None of us, not the president, not those hypothetical guys in the smoky rooms fully know what's going on, but we can speak about the unfolding of recent history with certainty.
Donald Trump is an existential threat to our democracy.
That is not how it works. That is a threat to democracy.
No. No. You anti-Semitic piece of...
When you make it difficult for people in their lives, they lose their ideological bullshit.
Free fries when you get vaccinated? Vaccination.
Welcome back. It's Tune In Tuesdays. We're happy to have you with us. Today we have an amazing guest in this segment. Jacqueline Napolitano-Furno is a police officer and also a proud mom and Board of Education member in Connecticut School District. Jacqueline has served many terms and is here today during BOE elections, took time to speak with us about why she is running again. Jacqueline, welcome.
Okay, we seem to have lost Jacqueline on the Zoom. But let's talk about her accomplishments and where she's at, and we'll get her back on.
Let's bring up the Asset One. Let's talk about Jacqueline for a moment, and we have her asset and where she's running and her qualifications right there. And she is the right choice for Connecticut based on her experience alone. She has brought a wonderful budget to the school district for many years. We have Jacqueline back, and she's going to speak more to that and the importance of why running for school board is so necessary. Hi, Jacqueline. She's got some
How are you today?
How are you guys today?
We're doing okay, Jackie. We're doing good. Jackie, we want to congratulate you for running again. We hope congratulations through tonight, too, but we want to applaud you for running again. Can you tell us about the experience of being a board member and why it's so important?
I think she froze.
Oh, she's frozen.
Moving. That's why.
All right, we've got a bad technical connection here, but we will point out that in the Connecticut School District there was an issue with a progressive pride flag that was hung in one of the classrooms that was supposed to be used as a GSA club. And these clubs are very important. All types of clubs are important for students to feel accepted in their schools and to have a function. And in this particular classroom, however, this teacher went above and beyond and hung a flag that was larger than the American flag or competed with the American flag. And it made the other students in the classroom feel very uncomfortable. When she was approached to remove the flag, she became defiant. Then it turned into an unfortunate lawsuit. However, at the end of the day, recently, the court in New York decided for the school, as it is their policy, that only the American flag be flown. And so we're happy that that was, decided upon. And Jacqueline, you were on the board at that time. You're running today. I hope we have a better connection. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Wonderful.
Our school district realized that our country has its flaws when it comes to the American flag, how to properly and respectfully display it. And our district had policies set in place for those laws, and we needed to respect and abide by them. And we needed everybody to abide by them. Unfortunately, this lawsuit that now is actually being appealed, it shows that people don't respect the process and the checks and balances that are put in place to protect our students so that all students can feel safe in school. And really, they're there for an educational experience. They need to be there for learning. And that's something that I feel like a lot of people have forgotten, that school needs to focus back on traditional education.
You've done a great job through the years. You're an incumbent. You've been on the board. You've balanced the budget. Can you talk to us about the importance of the budget? There's always a budget vote. What do our audience, what do parents need to understand about the budget?
I've said for many years that, we've had some issues because over the years, especially after and during the pandemic, state aid becomes a problem. But we really need to pay attention to what's going on and where our tax dollars are going. I paid attention to the budget over the last 6 years and even for all the years before that. And now I've had 6 years of hands-on budget experience with 0 failed community budget votes. Today, we actually have one of the lowest budget increases of all time. 1.34 is our tax levy. We have no cuts to our budget. We have no excessing of staff. We are accessing positions through attrition with retirements. I look around at other school districts and the financial dire straits they're in, and Connecticut is in a great spot. And I think that has a lot to do with not just myself, but the people I've worked with on the Board of Ed and also with admin who've done an exceptional job making sure that we protect tax dollars.
Excellent. The teachers are a valued source, right? And they make or break a classroom. They can be role models to so many. However, there's been a lot of controversy about the teacher union leadership, not the teachers in the classroom, but the leadership on many levels, both on the national level as well as the state level, and right down to the school district level. So we understand that they really came out in force in many districts across the state in pushing candidates for the board, and so many parents are concerned about the conflict of interest, because if you're putting teachers or a teachers union candidate on the board, then they would be inclined for teacher contract negotiations and teacher union interests. How do you manage that?
You know, I've said to people many times, I have a great relationship with so many teachers. They know that I back them. Anything I can do to support them, because I know it ultimately supports the students. I've advocated for money for their classrooms. I've advocated for their programs and their initiatives. What I don't do is I am not someone who doesn't hold people accountable. I hold people accountable. And unfortunately, because I'm that kind of person that is fair-minded, and I will not be bullied by the teacher union president at our district, who is a very strong person, very strong personality. And most people on Long Island know that Connecticut has that kind of strong union leadership that unfortunately doesn't always play well with somebody who tries to keep things very fair. However, I did have a conversation less than a year ago at the tenuring of our teachers, where the teacher union president came up to me, shook my hand, and said to me in front of other people that he and I agree on 90% of everything. So what is it that the 10% you can't agree to disagree? Why can't we make it about the students? Why can't we work together, even though we may not politically be aligned in a lot of ways? I try to keep schools apolitical, but politics, unfortunately, during the pandemic reared their heads here, as we've all seen, with curriculum that's divisive coming in, with, we saw a lot of things with that home learning, with the learning through the computers, that rather than with a teacher in the classroom. And there was a lot of issues during the pandemic, which opened the door for more parents paying attention. That's who really got involved in our, people say, what changed after the pandemic? I said, more parents paying attention. We have now live streaming of board meetings. There was live streaming into the classroom. So a lot of parents got to see things that they had never seen before. And that too changed. I feel like it actually changed course in a lot of ways.
Everybody was used to teachers never having any agenda.
Our teacher union, I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yes.
Our teacher union is supporting my opponent. But they do this because they look for somebody who they can get that will do what they want all the time. And that's not always beneficial for the taxpayer or the student.
That's the agenda. That's the people do back an agenda. I remember when I was going to school, there was no agenda. Forget about sexuality. There was no political. You couldn't ask the teacher if he served in Vietnam. You couldn't ask him if he was single or if the woman was single. Never mind the teacher displaying what her sexuality is. See, that's what caught everybody so off guard. We were so used to not knowing anything about a teacher, and the teacher had no agenda. Now, when you say like, oh, the board meeting is up there and everything, now to see that not only do they have an agenda, but they're pushing it on a kid, that's what is really shocking. That's why we need people like you to be in there and alert parents to what's going on. You're doing a fantastic job.
So today we have to go and vote for at your local district for these people that we're looking to get into to be the school board. But it's not political, because you go to vote, you can't say, well, I'm going to look for my Republican side and vote for that. So there is no political involved. All their names are on the streets out there, but I don't know what they belong to, you know what I mean? So how would I know, not knowing, but want to vote for the right person when I go in there today?
I can certainly tell you.
Yeah, I know you can.
Yeah. No, I think that, it is a political situation for me. If the pride flag is in that classroom above my America flag, you're not the Board of Education that I want. If you want these kids to read these books that are inappropriate for 4-year-olds, you're not the board that I want. I want a conservative, America First board member. Is that you, my friend? Because I'm going to go out and wave your flag all over the street.
The pride flag is always the stars and stripes. That's if you don't have pride in the stars and stripes, then you shouldn't have pride in anything else in this country.
Right. And Jackie, I think you deal a lot too with the state education department inflicting its own pressure upon board members. I understand that last week a letter was sent out to board members telling them that they need to, and are you frozen, Jackie? Are you with me?
She's not.
As
no.
she says, okay, so we're having some technical issues. But there was a letter sent out to board members advising them that if they allow people at the board meetings to oppose LGBT or bully them, was the wording in the letter, then the board members will be reprimanded. It is a threat, a freeze on speech. And so the New York State Education Department's role in pushing DEI and SEL and other initiatives such as regionalization, which passed through administrative agency ruling circumventing the New York State Legislature. These things are of utmost importance, and to have Board of Education members elected that are knowledgeable about state overreach into their local school districts is paramount for parents. Paramount. But we want to thank Jackie for taking time to join us. Jackie, were you able to hear what I just said regarding how the New York State Education Department pushes down on boards of education?
Not sure if you guys can hear me. I can't hear you.
Okay. So we're having some technical difficulties, but we want to thank Jackie for joining us. We're about to head out in the last minute anyhow. And so please, today is the Board of Education
What's her
votes.
ticket? I want to know who her ticket is. She should
Yep,
tell me.
she's Connecticut. Let's have that asset up one more time, please, for Jacqueline Napolitano-Ferno. She's running on the Connecticut School Board. We know our co-host Mike Simonelli is running for the Smithtown School Board on his ticket as well with Ricciardi and Carfora. And we also have Tim Sassone running out of East Islip, again, against someone who is a BOCES administrator pushing equity and other initiatives that are state-run agenda. So Jackie, we want to thank you again for joining us today, and we wish you the best of luck in the race this evening.
We'll find out. 10 seconds left. We're going into a break.
To the not so new
Coming on. Let's have a good time. See our new sponsors here at the warehouse.
Welcome everybody
Jackie.
to the not so
Jackie, can you still hear us?
show.
I can hear you now. Sorry, I have lost you for a little while.
All good.
Okay, Donna, we asked Mike, who
Go ahead,
complained
I can hear you.
first on your honeymoon, you or him?
What do I think?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think he said.
Lisa, this ain't the SATs. Just tell us what. Donna, who complained first on the honeymoon?
I'm sure it was me, but I have no idea.
Donna is right.
No, it's always me.
What celebrity would you pick for a one-day pass?
For me?
Yeah, for you, not for him.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon! Wow! Who do you hate the most on her side? That rotten no.
There are so many choices.
Thank you all, and thank you for coming out.
The Queens Village Republican Club is America's oldest Republican club, founded in 1875. Situated in President Trump's hometown in Queens, New York, we are America First MAGA Republicans, empowering fellow Republicans to get involved in the game of politics at the grassroots level. We host inspiring monthly club meetings on the first Thursday of each month at 8 p.m. For more information, please go to our website at www.qvgop.org.
In the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Huge woke front coming in. Politicians got license to steal.
I'm pretty sure I'm a woman.
No, you're not, Steve. What have I done?
There's a killer example of a good old-fashioned public school education.
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed, because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
Back here at the America First Warehouse, yesterday was a terrific day at the White House in Washington, D.C. In the Rose Garden, Melania Trump joined President Trump and signing the Take It Down bill, which is really imperative. We can talk about AI and the infrastructure that's being built around, but understanding how it influences our children and what they use it for is really another important topic and something to discuss at home. But the ceremony was beautiful, and I want to go around. Did everyone get to see Melania signing the bill? President Trump asked her to sign the bill with him because of all of the hard work that she put in it under her Be Best initiative. Lisa?
It was beautiful, and again, you see this romanticness between them, which we don't really get to see too often in presidents and their wives. But wives are always there doing great work, but this was super special. And honestly, for her to have that hand in such an important bill goes to show how her deep interest in protecting children. And her whole Be Best campaign in the first administration surrounded that same mindset. And so coming in and making sure that children are protected against deep fakes and AI is so instrumental. I don't think we realize how AI is going to impact our lives at this point, but it is the top and forefront pioneer of the new technology revolution. And so we do see that children have gotten hurt in the past just by the sharing of inappropriate photos sometimes. And now if you can put your child's face, or somebody could put your child's face, I should say, on something that may be inappropriate or pornographic, it is frightening. And so she got ahead of this, passed this bill, and those who try to do that will be punished for it.
And it shows, too, that Melania, as well as President Trump, they have their finger on the pulse of the country. They know what's going on around the country and what affects our families most. Joe, did you get to watch the press conference?
Well, I got to tell you, I am so in awe of our First Lady. When even from the first time presidency, First Lady, when she came through, underreported, underutilized, and just knocked down. When in fact she's probably the most classiest woman it could possibly be. As a man, I can speak as a man. When I look at women in general, my wife reminds me a lot like Melania Trump. My wife knows, she's very quiet, but very strong in her conviction. And she also very classy in how she handles things and does things. And I watch her with President Trump, and she is the quintessential First Lady, probably better than Jackie O, who really nailed the job of being the First Lady and what it meant to the rest of the world when we look upon her. Melania Trump is a class act, and we have her in the Free America artwork. You can go on the website and take a look, because Lena Rusiev, the Russian, nailed it with Melania like she did with President Trump. Good stuff, huh?
They should have a Melania channel 24/7 because I cannot watch Melania Trump enough. There's points where I watch it. It looks like her feet aren't touching the floor. She just hovers across the room. And we'll never have another First Lady like this. I mean, we just came through two First Lady. Jill Biden's hoping her husband drops dead. She won't tell anybody he's got cancer. I mean, well, that's, if you marry an older guy, you're just waiting for him to drop dead. But then before that, Big Mike, I mean, we've gone through a drought like never before. Now we have Melania, 24/7 Melania channel. Even when she's sleeping, just a picture of her bedroom door. I can't get enough.
Yeah, she is a very classy lady, and she shows that. And I tell you can't be prouder to have them representing us as the First Lady and the President of our country. She is class like unbelief. And, why she's disrespected so much? Because they hate for Donald Trump. They're Trump derangement system is really just out of control. But you really can't say anything bad about her. She's beautiful from top to bottom.
Unbelievably beautiful. And she doesn't have a penis, which is a big, big proof, you know.
So thank you, Melania Trump, the First Lady of the United States, and thank you, President Trump, for signing that into law. I believe he was amazed at the number of senators. 99 senators were able to vote in the affirmative for the bill. So he was taking that into account because today he is on Capitol Hill talking with Speaker Johnson and the House Republicans, and I believe the House Republicans, because the Democrats have already said they don't want to vote for this big, beautiful bill. He named it the big, beautiful bill because it does everything he wants to do to set the agenda, to set up the economy for the 4 years of this presidency, and then leapfrogging us into our golden age. So, John, what is it you're looking forward to with this big, beautiful bill?
I have to say, anything that Donald Trump does is only for the betterment of the American people and us. So I am looking forward to tax breaks and everything else that comes in the bill. I didn't know enough that I could read about it. I didn't read about it, but anything that Donald Trump does blows my mind. He's an amazing guy. And he could change his mind once in a while, because not to get off the subject, but I heard that he had said something to Netanyahu, because originally, weeks before, is do what you can do to clean it up. He doesn't care what you do. Now he's asking to turn it back a little bit because he cares about everybody in this world, and he just wants to have peace and save lives. So, he's allowed to change his mind, and I just can't be happier.
Right, and he makes that a focal point of everything he does. It's about the betterment of our lives. So even with Medicaid, removing all of the waste, fraud, and abuse, Fred. So how is it that people who are able-bodied aren't going to work? And yes, when you work, you don't always get affordable insurance, so you may need a Medicaid benefit. But to balance that in some way, instead of just saying, oh, just stay home and take the benefit.
Well, the last maybe 10 presidents have been stealing from Medicaid and Social Security, so they don't want him to get involved in it. But this big, beautiful bill, it reminds me of, like, it's going to put in play prosperity for this country again. And it reminds me, like in the 50s, everybody was prosperous. You just had a job, you could take a vacation, you could have a house, you could buy a car. And that prosperity lasted so long that even with corruption, it lasted another 20 years. It's like you just, like pushing a boat. There's no more, motor, but it's just keeps sailing. So I think once he pushes this bill through, we're going to have prosperity for another 10, 15, 20 years just from the repercussions of what he's doing. So a lot of people, long after Donald Trump dies, this country is going to be prospering. And that's what a great American does. He just wants the betterment of the country, even not for him. Listen, he doesn't have to do this. He's a billionaire. He's got the most smoking hot wife. Did I mention Melania is smoking hot yet? Did I say anything about
Wow,
that?
they're going to be knocking on your door pretty soon, Fred.
I know that the 60 Plus Association, Jim Barton, CEO, has also said that this is a big win for the seniors as well. He believes that the proper tax cuts for senior citizens are embedded in the bill. And it's tremendously important because we know, even DeSantis, the governor of Florida, just said recently, these senior citizens, they own their homes for all of these years, and they're still getting charged taxes on their Social Security and their properties. And how long, do you continue to pay taxes? You're getting triple, quadruple taxed on things over time. And so we need to be considerate of the older generation, and it's time to give them back to them what they've given to the country for all these years.
And old people spend a lot of money.
They do.
Because, you go to a restaurant, a lot of times young people don't have the money to go to a restaurant. Who do you see? It's the Silver Hair Society in there, So if you give big breaks to seniors, that's a lot more walk-in tubs, a lot more hard candy and Vicks Vapor Rub being sold.
But there's also a lot of seniors that do need the tax break because they are struggling.
Yes.
They're working part-time, or they're trying to help their children raise a family. So that extra not coming out of their check is more of an incentive for them to help their families and to grow further, because they're still, listen, Johnny's 62, you're 62, you're
Don't tell anybody.
You've got another 30, 40 years in you, right?
7 minutes older than him. You know, and all the things that Donald Trump is doing now, it sounds wonderful, but nobody really sees the effects. But this time next year, I guarantee you a lot of people that hated Trump are going to have to love him because things are so much nicer. Right. You know, we don't see it for time, in a little bit of time to come.
I love the big, beautiful bill, and I'm really impressed by the fact that he is walking through the halls of Congress. Trump wants to get one-on-one with these congressmen so they all jump in on the big, beautiful bill. I know there's the red states are all looking for the SALT, and I believe that he's even in the bill, there is the SALT for them, and it's even more of an increase. Whether it was based on 10,000, it might be worth 60,000. Tremendous cuts in taxes for everybody. The continuation of the taxes that he put in 2016 will continue through. If this big bill, beautiful bill, gets rejected, then it will cause a tax increase of almost 68%. So what moron wants to pay more in taxes? This beautiful bill should be 100 to none.
And it's not like before where you have to pass it first and then see
Look
what's
at
in it. We know what's in it. And that's why we love calling it the big, beautiful Melania. I mean, Bill.
And we're all going to
And
enjoy
the
it. We're all
people's-
going to have great lives in the future.
I mean, hopefully, you know, the people stepping up too. I'm happy to see DoorDash CEO stepping up, for this as well. No tax on the tips for the Dashers. We also have the Concerned Veterans for Americans. Director John Vick also stepped up, speaking about how this is going to be prosperous, even for those veterans who are trying to reestablish themselves still as well, and as well as anyone looking to prosper in the future. The Sandstone and Gravel CEO has also made a statement in support of this bill. So we're seeing it across a spectrum of demographics and different job opportunities.
That's right. That's right. We're all looking forward to it. This is an entrance into the golden age, and we're all looking forward to it. So we have a little bit of time left. Joe, do you want to?
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a great time to be an American. Right, Johnny? I stole that from my brother. As he will tell you, I steal most of his material. But we actually, came from the
You should
same-
steal his jacket. It's a beautiful jacket.
That's why I got to get out here once in a while so they know it's my material.
Well, we are honored to be here. We're honored to be in front of you. We appreciate you tuning in. We got one more segment left. We're going to go over the great things that are happening here at the warehouse. We love America. We love our new sponsors. We'll see you back at the end of the break.
I told you this was crazy. I'm out of here.
No do that. Free stuff for all.
Not to be such a downer.
To you, bow to the master staff. Come to me. Oh my God, this guy's from Jersey.
Hi. How you doing? Fuck up my stage.
I'm pretty sure I'm a woman.
No, you're not, Steve. Oh! Oh!
You're wet on my side. Now instead of a poke, you're getting a smack. What have I done?
Corporate transfer, fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
Welcome, everybody, to the Not So Newlywed Show, where 3 couples are going to compete for really great prizes. Okay, Donna, we asked Mike, who complained first on your honeymoon, you or him?
What do I think?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think he said.
Lisa, this ain't the SATs. Just tell us what. Donna, who complained first on the honeymoon?
I'm sure it was me, but I have no idea.
Jordan is right.
No, it's always me.
What celebrity would you pick for a one-day pass?
For me?
Yeah, for you, not for him.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon! Wow! Who you hate the most on her side? That rotten no.
There are so many choices.
Thank you all, and thank you for coming out.
The first warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed, because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country. It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse. We are back with our team. And then through the magic of magic, we replaced our great friend Fred Rubino and replaced him with Stevie Jeevy.
There you go. Not as good looking, but, you know, I'm trying.
Well, listen, my man Stevie over here has been to the warehouse a few times. He's a Long Island dad, so we're going to keep him here on Long Island and not send him to El Salvador. But he brings a great excitement to the warehouse. Stevie, welcome to the team. How you doing today?
Always great to be here. It's lovely. I mean, I've never seen so much Trump stuff. It's unbelievable. It's good to be here. It's good to see you.
Stevie's been on a few of the comedy shows that we've done here at the warehouse, and he brings a lot of great people in. He's got a great following. He loves the country, and he's clean and nice about his humor. Can you tell us why you are so different than the other comedians?
Well, you know, first of all, being a clean comic, I get more work. You know, people hire me more. So, and if they ever want it dirty, it's much easier to write clean and go dirty than write dirty and go clean. So that's my theory on that. But I just talk about life, living on Long Island, being a suburban dad. You know, the lawn is everything.
It's a great thing. I like your material. Now, did you have any issues with your political affiliation? I mean, you walked in here with your flag on, so we loved you right away. Has that been a problem over the years or in your job?
Well, I don't do any political humor on stage. I put it all on Facebook. So I've lost a lot of friends. I've blocked a lot of people. But, you know, if they're upset with my political reviews or opinion, then they're really not friends anyway. That's the way I look at it. But that's all right. I have fun.
Yeah, I find that a lot of the businesses and stuff, you know, they're very, you know, unsure. Or, you know, I'm worried about if I say something wrong, I'm going to lose a job. You know, and I guess I concern myself with that too at times because, you know, my original business was the moving and storage. So, you know, we want to move everybody. We don't care what you believe. We want you to come in and pay for your job, and we'll service it. But you know, honestly, it's getting tougher and tougher for me to accept anything other than an American type movement.
Yeah, that's probably true. But, you know, I haven't lost any work from it. I don't think so. Maybe if I have, they weren't directly telling me that when they can't hire you because you're a Trump supporter. I haven't heard that yet. So,
Well, the only reason why we did hire you is because you are a Trump supporter.
That's right. That's right.
Johnny, what's going down? Now, Stevie here wants to know if you're my twin brother or something.
Yeah, I thought you were sisters, actually.
Yeah, it's stealing my material too. The new guy is unbelievable. But yeah, a patriotic comedian I think is always funny. I think that dry humor is good because I know, like, if I would go to a place with my girl and we watched a comedy show and it was, you know, a little offensive, it's not, you know, I don't think that's too funny. You know, some of that comedy is not as what goes for me. I do like it a little clean, and I'm sure you got some great materials with children and all kinds of stuff. I saw you twice already perform here, and you got me cracking up too.
Oh, great! Thanks.
Yeah, agreed. Stephanie and I recently experienced a comedian who did not have the proper material for the audience, and it was, you know, parents and people of faith who were there to support the pornography, you know, to oppose the pornography in the schools and the books. Yeah, and that didn't work very well. So I think next time we might have to call Stevie G.
There you go.
That's right.
I'll give you my card.
Well, keep it clean for the kiddos.
Keep it clean
Of
for the
course.
kiddos.
Well, I've performed at kids' parties, which is, I'm not really child humor, but I just don't, obviously I keep it clean, but they still look at me like, what are you talking about? You're 60 years old. We can't relate to that. So, but that's all right.
Here's some questions for you regarding.
Sure.
So I understand you're an accountant by trade. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay. So we have the big, beautiful bill we spoke about earlier, but more on a local level, we are dealing with Hochul's bill and the budget passing, and some controversy there because it's the understanding that Letitia James's defense money for her infractions is included in that bill. And then a step further, we'll go more to the local level. With we spoke with a great. Incumbent running for a Board of Education seat here in Connecticut, and how the budget there also impacts on a local level. But on those two levels, what can you tell us as an accountant dealing with budgets, and what should we be looking for?
I thought I was here as a comedian, but
And you can make fun of budgets too.
you're killing me. Well, I to be honest with you, I have an issue with the salt tax because here's my theory. Because everybody has property taxes on Long Island, right? And you pay somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000 a year. That's the average. They want to raise the salt tax to $30,000, $60,000. These are millionaire homes. So, it's funny because the Democrats are always like, tax the rich, but then they want the salt deduction to be $60,000. So if you got a $60,000 tax bill, you can afford to pay the tax bill. So that's my first issue. And it's not fair to the other states because now you're pulling money from the other states to pay for the salt tax in the red states with governors that don't know how to control their budget. And that's and with Hochul, I don't understand. We got Jake's Casino. We got all these casinos in New York. Where's all that money going? Where's all the lottery money going? The school taxes keep going up, but where's all this money? It's like they need to be doged.
Yes, we need. Every time Elon tweets, where should Doge go next? I said New York needs
New
you
York,
at
New
every
York.
level, please.
Yes.
Locally, at the state level, every county, we need Doge.
Didn't de Blasio's wife lose millions of dollars too?
$8
million.
Where that money went to? And I imagine being an accountant, that after you give some people their tax information, they probably say, "You're not so funny anymore."
You remember that
You used to
refund
be
you got
funny, but you're
last
not
year?
funny anymore.
Yeah, it's no fun in that. That's for sure.
That's good news.
That's right.
Well, Stevie, we're gonna go with some business, local business, on what we got going at the warehouse. Where can people find you next, or where are you going to be doing?
Well, best place to find me, believe it or not, is Facebook or Instagram, Stevie GB Comedy, and it's Stevie GB, like CBGBs. That's where it comes from. And you could find me there. And I do a lot of private gigs. I'm not really doing many club gigs lately. I have a Moose Club I'm doing at the end of June, the Moose Club in Lindenhurst, and they're very conservative over there, so we can play around with them. So that'll be fun.
Well, we're always happy to have you here, Stevie. Thank you very much for coming on. We have a few great events that are happening at the warehouse, and you're always welcome to come as our guest, Steve. And the first one we're going to talk about is from Lisa. She's going to cover the June 14th and what's happening. What's happening, Lisa?
What's happening? ASAT 1, where you're talking about the America Golden Age of Freedom concert here at the America First Warehouse on June 14th. What is so special is that there is a raffle right now, and it ends June 7th, so you really need to get on. It's for one of Elena Russova's beautiful prints of Donald Trump. Normally running for approximately $65, you can buy a $10 raffle ticket, and it could be yours. Don't miss out on this opportunity. That is the actual print that President Trump uses on his posts for, I think, Truth Social or X or something, right? So on his social media. So that's awesome. Purchased by June 6th. The ticket is going to be drawn June 7th. America's Golden Age. You can go to the warehouse, get it in person, do Venmo, just contact the warehouse. And then we have America's Golden Age of Freedom concert. That is asset number 4. And here on June 14, 2025, same day. So it's Flag Day. It's President Trump's birthday. There will be a freedom concert. You can get your tickets, $60 a piece, or come with someone, get a discount, $100 for 2 tickets. That is a main event concert featuring world-renowned pianist Peter Vamos. And we're going to also have a cocktail hour featuring Joe Pickett, and he was voted Long Island's best piano entertainer 4 years in a row. Don't miss the concert and enjoy the festivities here at the warehouse.
The Conservative Music Artists, the Conservative Artist Organization, they have one of the commercials that they run on our during our shows. They have worked so hard to bring out the conservative artists that have been shut down left and right, from our painting artists like you saw there from Lena Rusiev, to the music artist and expressionist. Now, Peter Vamos has been here before, and our cameras were able to catch him with his concert pianist on our beautiful Yamaha piano that we have here. It'll be something else. That place will sell out. There's no doubt in my mind. We have another gig going on. It's going to be for Johnny B. What's going down, Johnny Blanket?
I like to follow the truth, and I like to see the truth. And you get the truth at that news station called Real America Voice, and you get the truth here at the America First Warehouse. Their show is Monday through Friday between 8 and 10. And Friday's a special day because they come here with live audience, live participation. Not this Friday, but every Friday from here on in, you can come down and see that show live, have a great time, and even interact with the guests that are on stage for you. It's a great night. I hope I see you down there one of these times.
You know, the guys from Studio 6B, I really get a kick out of them because they're real hardworking Americans here on Long Island. They come in on Friday nights, and afterwards they have Mac cigar trucks. We have a steak truck out there. It's a great time and a lot of fun to meet everybody. So come on down on Fridays. And I think we're even going to be running specials where it's going to be free to come in. We really want the people to come in and see the truth. Now we got a great thing coming up. Steph Legit, fill us in on what's happening on your asset.
Thanks so much, Joe. May 31st coming up, not this Memorial Day weekend, but May 31st, a week from Saturday. Grab your Western gear, your hats, your big buckles, and your boots, and come down and learn how to line dance. It'll be a fun night, $20. Book your tickets online because they are selling quickly. So May 31st, doors open at 7:30. Get ready to line dance. Have a good time.
Way to go, Steph. I got to tell you, I like to dance. I got my own move. I dance very well with the American flag. And I find that it's not that easy to put those 4 or 5 steps together, but I'm really excited about it. I think we already almost sold about 60 tickets for that, and that's a couple of weeks out. Line dancing. Get your cowboy boots on. Get your cowboy hat on, and then come on down. It's going to be a great night. I happen to have the final asset that I'm going to be talking about, and it's a big one. June 7th. It's big because, number one, it's my anniversary. Hello, honey. How you doing? Happy anniversary. But we're going to be celebrating. We're bringing in some J6s that are coming in. We're going to start at 6:30, where we're going to be the Liberty Case, a Justice Reform podcast with Sarah Maccabee. Right? Sarah Maccabee, her husband was the one who was standing on the wall. Oh, no, actually, her husband was the one at the West Tower that was trying to revive Roseanne Boylan that was murdered that day with a police stick. And he was there as sheriff. And he arrested him. They blocked him up for a long time. So June 7th, Sarah Maccabee will be out here, and her sidekick Shane, my man, also was arrested, a J6er. The truth is coming out Saturday, June 7th. Check it out at the America Warehouse. We love you for coming in and tuning in. We'll see you next Tuesday. Boy, I had a lot of fun.